Welcome to Quit Bleeping Around, a podcast dedicated to helping you achieve more in life. Here's your host, Christina Eanes.
Hey, superachievers. For this episode, I'm interviewing Sanjib Nandi, author of The Man with Zero Talent and founder of the Luvo Wellness app. Welcome, Sanjib. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm super excited.
Oh, well, can you share a little bit before we get started? Share a little bit about your background with our listeners.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sanjib Nandi, and I'm super excited to be in this show and sharing my personal self-transformation journey from an average guy to a person who is recently featured in Forbes. And I hope some of you might be able to implement some of the tools and techniques which I have used in my life, and it might help you to make a better version of yourself. So a little bit about my background. I was born and brought up in India. I lived there for 26 years. I finished my pharmacy schooling from India. I moved to London in 2002, and I lived there for 5 years. And I came to United States in 2008. And I have been living here for the past 14 years. I have also been to Africa. So you can see that I have lived and worked in different parts of the world, which gives a different perspective of my life experience and the cultural difference which we have living in different parts of the world. And in 2021, I wrote my first book, The Man with Zero Talent. And it's about how can you convert yourself from a negative-minded person to a more positive-minded person. And once you have converted to a positive-minded person, how can you become a better version of yourself? And in 2021, I launched my first app, Luvo. Again, it's about self-help and self-improvement. And it takes different aspects of life, like I have included meditation, exercise, water intake, gratitude, mood checks, sleep analysis, so that we can improve our life, health-wise and in an overall way, rather than approaching or changing ourselves from one direction.
I love it. So can you share a little bit about how you reinvented yourself before we get into some strategies for our listeners?
Yes, definitely. So before I dive into some strategies, let me tell you 3 facts of life, which I believe that is very important. And maybe not all the listeners know about it. The first is, life is difficult. Life is difficult for me, it is difficult for you, and it is difficult for everyone. We have the misconception, okay, why this is happening to me or why this bad thing is happening to us. But, life has challenges and we have to all face life challenges. And if I look back to my parents' life, I see, they have a very simple life, but still they have to overcome the challenges and the difficulties in life. And we all have to do that. The second thing which I wanted to tell is we always have a choice. It means like if I wanted to go home and sit and enjoy my whole day, I can do that. Or if I want to go to the gym, work out, make myself fit and healthy, I have a choice. And if I wanted to become rich or successful, again, the choice is up to me. So I and you, we always have a choice. The third thing which I wanted to mention is learning is the key to have a successful and a happy life. And we can learn anything at any age. Age is never a barrier to learn anything. And science has proved that we can physically, structurally, and chemically change our brain by neuroplasticity. And science has now recently found that we can generate new nerve cells in our brain, which is called neurogenesis. So, learning is the key, and we can become better at any age. Now,
Absolutely.
and coming to the actionable parts, which the listeners can, implement in their everyday life. The first thing which anybody can implement is having a goal. Having a goal helps you move forward in life, and it can be anything. It can be a small goal, or it can be a long-term goal, or it can be a personal goal, or it can be a professional goal. It doesn't matter. But
Mm-hmm.
having a goal helps you see something in your life. Suppose if you wanted to be a manager in your company, or you wanted to become rich and successful, what a goal will do is, it will help you look forward. And I will definitely mention the listeners to write it down, because when you write down the goals, it makes it tangible. You can write it down maybe in your journal. You can write it down in your phone and save it as a screensaver, so that you can see that goal over and over again. And just to, get back to my life, at one point in my life, I have a goal that I wanted to run a mile. Your goal can be anything, just as small as running a mile. And after I run a mile, I thought, if I can run a 5 miler. And after, running that, I thought I can go to bigger things like running a half marathon and running a full marathon. So what does goal do is, it propels you to move forward, and it helps to make you more positive. The second thing,
Absolutely.
yes. The second thing which I want the listeners to implement is improve your self-talk. Like, we always talk self-negatively with us, why this is happening to us. I have a bad anxiety, or I'm not good at this, I'm bad at math, or I have depression. Whatever we say we are not good at becomes a reality. So, how can we improve our self-talk? So we can improve our self-talk by using affirmation. Like, we can say to ourselves, life is amazing. Or we can say to ourselves, I love myself. Or we can say that, I'm getting better at my life. I woke up, in the morning today, which is definitely better.
Yeah.
So we can use affirmation in our life. We can use mantra. Like, I use a mantra that I am the greatest speaker in the world. We can use these affirmation and mantras to help us move towards the positive direction. And you can use like visualization, like you can visualize your goals. You can, just close your eyes for 30 seconds, and whatever your goal is, or whatever you want to achieve in your life, you can just visualize early in the morning or in the afternoon, just for 30 seconds, which will give you a frame mind which directions you wanted to move. And when you are thinking about, achieving something, you cannot think negative. You are definitely going to think positive. The third thing which I want the listeners to implement is, there is a word, Japanese word, which is called kaizen, which means small, consistent improvement over a period of time. And this philosophy has been implemented in the manufacturing industry, but now it has been used in the self-help industry. Like, rather than telling us, I wanted to run 2 mile, or if I say you have to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, and when you're used to waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning, or if I say, my son, you have to read 10 pages, what it will do is the mind will revolt, or you will revolt that, why should I do that? I'm not used to it. Rather than do small, consistent changes, like, can you walk a block today? which your mind will not resist. Okay, walking a block is easy. If I tell my son, can you read one line today? He will not tell me no. Yeah, one line, definitely I can do it. So these are the small, consistent changes. If we implement in our life, it helps us to manipulate our mind. The role of our brain is to keep yourself safe, keeps you in a position which is not uncomfortable. The role of the mind is to keep you in a happy state. So when you are doing small, consistent changes, what happens? Your mind is not, against you, and you are able to do small, consistent changes over a period of time. The last thing which I wanted the listeners to implement is habits. Make good habits. We are what we do every single day. And I have written extensively about habits in my book. And the 3 habits which I have personally implemented is meditation, exercise, and cold showers.
Mm.
So, what does meditation do? People have the misconception that, oh, meditation is related to Buddhism or meditation is related to Hinduism. Meditation is basically a form of exercise tailored specifically for your brain. What you are achieving by doing meditation is you are improving your concentration, you are improving your focus, you are making yourself calmer. It has nothing to do with the religion. And when you are doing meditation, scientifically, it has proven that it shrinks your amygdala, which is the fear center or the emotional center of your brain.
Wow.
It is also called the fight or the flight system. So Sarah Lazar, the neuroscientist from Harvard, she researched on the amygdala, and she was able to figure out that doing meditation for 8 weeks shrinks your amygdala, which means, after, doing meditation for 8 weeks, if your amygdala is shrinking, it means your fear center, you will be less fearful. And if you are less fearful, your heart rate will be normal, your pulse will be very good, your blood pressure will be normal, you will be calm, your stress level in the body will be low. When your stress level in the body is low, your immunity will rise. So meditation has a lot of benefits. The second benefits which I wanted to tell about meditation is either we are left brainers or right brainers. Those who are left brainers, they are more analytical, regional, or more logical way of approach in life. And those who are right brainers, they are more intuitive, good at arts, more imaginative. But if you can make yourself whole brainers like Elon Musk or Albert Einstein, you can use both parts of your brain, left hemisphere and right hemisphere, and that will help you, move forward and become a better version of yourself. And what meditation does, it it helps you connect the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. There is a part which is called corpus callosum. It increases the thickness and connectivity between the left and the right brain. And once you become whole brainers in 8 to 10 weeks, you think clearly, your memory increases, and you can become definitely a better version in 8 to 10 weeks.
Wow.
There are so many advantages of doing meditation. The third advantage which I wanted to point out is the hippocampus, which is again a part of the brain which is associated with learning and memory. and what happens when we are depressed or when we are anxious. And it depends upon the number of years we are in depressed state. So it shrinks our hippocampus. So once the hippocampus is shrinked, it means our learning capacity or our memory capacity is getting shrink at the same time. Doing 8 to 10 weeks of meditation, increases the thickness and volume of the right and the left hippocampus. So you can see that, these things has been scientifically proven. These are not the things which I am telling you. This has been proven by many scientists. And those who do meditation, they sleep like logs. And why is it that, the prefrontal cortex, which is the CEO of our brain, there is neural activity in the brain. And when you do meditation, the electrical activity in our prefrontal cortex decreases. It means, you can change from delta waves to alpha waves to beta waves. Now, like when I'm speaking with you now, I am at beta waves. Now, if I want to go to sleep, I have to change my brain frequency to delta waves. And that's what happens with, most of the individual, that they are not able to change from the working state to a state which is a little bit calmer. And once you are able to change that frequency at will, learning meditation, it becomes, so much easier for you to fall asleep anytime. So this is all about meditation. Do you have any questions, or do you want to know anything more about meditation?
Oh, no, this is great. Yeah, go ahead and go into the two other areas that you were sharing.
This next part, I will just, explain it briefly. The second is exercise. Again, most of us know, that exercise is good for us. And if we look back, about from our ancestors or prehistoric age, we are hunters and gatherers. We are meant to walk, run, do some kind of physical activity. But now what happened is we sit in the office all day in front of the laptop and we don't do any physical activity. There are so many research which shows that 20 minutes of physical activity decreases your heart disease by 30%.
Wow.
So there are so many studies. And exercise, any kind of exercise. I'm not saying that you have to do a particular type of exercise. It can be walking, it can be running, it can be swimming, it can be biking. What it does, it releases happy chemicals in the brains, like serotonins, endorphins, dopamine, which makes a human being happy. And there is a correlation between body and the mind. Body and the mind are not separate things. They are very interlinked to each other. If we are making our body physically active, we are making our mind healthy at the same time. So exercise has a very important role to make a better version of ourselves, because we cannot approach life from one angle. We have to approach it from different angles and to make our life easier and happier. The third thing which I wanted to tell is about cold showers. Again, I have written very extensively about cold showers, but I will just describe it briefly. So what does cold showers do? It activates our sympathetic nervous system. So it activates our flight or flight system. So not all stress is bad. Some of the stress is good for us so that it make us resilient. Because in this world, stress is always going to stay. We cannot, stay away from stress. It can be the family stress, it can be work stress, or it can be coming from places which we never expected in our life. So, by doing cold showers, you can, handle stress, a little bit every single day, so that it is making you resilient. And what cold showers does is, when the cold water touches your body, your lungs have to breathe deeply and your heart has to pump blood all over the body. So what happens is once you come out of the shower, you are in a highlighted state, you feel more energy, you are you are raring to go, and you are more stress free, you are more focused. So all these things help you to make yourself better. So to summarize it, four things anybody can use in everyday life to make themselves better. The first is having a goal and writing it down. The second is improve your self-talk by using self-affirmation, self-visualization. The third is small, consistent changes in any field you wanted to do. And the fourth is make good habits. It can be meditation, it can be exercise, it can be yoga, it can be cold showers.
Wow, I love this. This has been great. I love how you brought in the explanation of the brain and how we need to work with it instead of against it when we're trying to reinvent ourselves. So this has been great. Now, before we get to your final piece of advice, can you share a little bit about your products and or services and how we can find you for our listeners?
So, yeah. So I wrote my first book, The Man with Zero Talent. And the reason I wrote that book is, I was struggling in my life at one point in my life, and I don't know what to do. And I was not able to find the exact resources. How can I come out from negativity? So it took me around, a year to figure it out. And once I'm able to figure out these are the steps which anybody can take it, I thought of writing a book. And my book name is The Man with Zero Talent, which you can buy in Amazon.com. And in 2022, I launched my first app, Luvo, and you can download it free. There is no charge. I don't charge any money for the app. And you can download it free from Google Play Store or App Play Store. And both the things is about self-help and self-improvement. And my goal in life is to push myself towards the edge, to learn and grow, and to help others at the same time. And that is the meaning of my life, and that helps me keep pushing myself every single day.
Nice. Is there a website that people can go to as well?
Yes, people can go to my website at www.zesttolive.com.
Oh, nice. Okay, we'll make sure that gets in the episode description. Okay, your final piece of advice for our listeners.
So the final piece of advice to the listeners, which I can give you, is work on yourself. You can be a 16-year-old kid or a 35-year-old man. If you are investing your time, energy, and resources in making yourself better, and it can be anything like your communication or writing skills, or you want to make yourself physically or mentally healthy, or you want to pursue a goal or dream, whatever it is, start from today. You might have heard the phrase, what we sow today, what we are going to harvest later. So rather than procrastinating and thinking about it, start from today. And nobody knows everything. We think, when I will learn more, when I have more knowledge of a particular thing, then I will do it. And the perfect example is of Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook founder. When he founded Facebook, his only intention was he wanted to connect the Harvard community. He thought, someday somebody else will connect this whole world. So the point I'm trying to give is, you don't have to know everything. You have to just take the first step in faith, and you have to keep learning and progressing and keep improving yourself. Timing is never going to be perfect for anybody. And stars is never going to align for any of the things which we wanted to do. And the traffic lights of life will not be all green at the same time. And some days a disease which will take your dreams and goals to the graveyard. So if you wanted to do something, just start it today and keep course correcting along the path. People say that, we have a short life. We don't have a short life, but we have one life to dream, discover, explore. So, have a life which is exciting, have a life which is, worth living it.
Oh, that is great advice. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sanjib.
Thank you very much, Christina. I do appreciate you.
If you'd like to learn more about Sanjib, follow his Facebook page at Luvo Zest to Live, or check out his book on Amazon.
Interested in expanding your employee development program? Visit ChristinaEanes.com to look at the many workshops Christina has available for you.